Back then in JSS3, that's junior secondary school, I think once you're done with JSS3, you write the junior WAEC, which basically, like, till now, I'm still wondering what the importance of that exam is, because I've not even seen my result. I don't even know basically like what it's used for. I won't even lie. Imagine giving somebody 100k and the person does not even say thank you. You're welcome once again to my YouTube channel at Stay with Eve. Honestly, at this point, I don't think I can promise a bi-weekly appearance anymore because life is getting more serious for me. And I think the reason it's difficult is because I basically do the editing myself. And if I had an editor, I'll just sit here and yap as much as possible. So most times when I think about how much time it's going to take to edit a video, I'll just give up before I start. But that's, by the way, it doesn't still exempt the fact that I enjoy yapping on here. So I'm happy to be here again, and I know you are as well. So please, pardon me, please. So I'd like to know in the comment section what interesting things have happened for you or to you in my absence. I want to welcome my returning subscribers. If it's definitely your first time here, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to like this video, because it helps you to recommend the video to other people as well. So today I'm going to be asking a question and trying as much as possible to guide you towards answering it. And that question is, why do you do the good things that you do? It's not for me to answer. It's basically for you to work with the guide that I've provided, that I will provide, and work your way through answering the question as well. I'm going to be talking about good acts, the beauty in them, and definitely the frustration in them not being seen or recognized. I'll be answering the question on whether good deeds only matter when people see them. So, as always, because I really love to tell stories, sometimes I just talk and I feel like I'm talking too much, but today I'm definitely going to be telling a story. And one thing I like is the fact that this YouTube channel has provided me an opportunity to, as much as possible, remember a lot of beautiful memories from my childhood that probably would have never crossed my mind if I didn't have this channel, where I would have to talk about different things and relate them as much as possible to life's events. So while I was preparing for this video, a childhood memory came to mind, and it was beautiful to remember because it honestly helped me paint the picture for this topic of discussion today, and also create a means for you to relate to what I'm talking about. And here's the story. Let me just dive right into it. Back then in JSS3, that's junior secondary school, I think once you're done with JSS3, you write the junior WAEC, which basically, like, till now, I'm still wondering what the importance of that exam is, because I've not even seen my result. I don't even know basically like what it's used for. Unless you're entering another school, it's literally, I won't say useless anyways. Back then, I was done with JSS3 exams, and you know, there's this very long holiday after that particular set of useless exam. So we had this very long holiday. I think it lasted for 2 to 3 months, and I was at home this entire time. And in my house, you do not use gadgets until you've gotten admission, until you've gotten into school. So I had no phone. I was just alone in that house on my own. So my siblings would go to school and they would come back in the evening around 5. So from morning, from the time when they leave till that 5, I would be home alone. And it was boring. Like, I think in that particular moment, I read a lot of novels. I started my writing career, in quotes. And it was an interesting moment because there was no gadgets, so I had to find other ways to make my life interesting or pass time. At a particular point, I started banking on cleaning the house as a means to kind of remove the boredom that I was experiencing. Right, so the house was quite big and it had different sections to it. So I would start from my parents' room and I would clean from there right downstairs and every other area in the house. I'll do the sweeping, I'll do the mopping and all of that. So it was a way to pass time, and by the time I would be done with all of that, it's already evening. So I'm now relaxed. Most times I'll sleep, and by the time I'm waking up, they're already back. So that was more like I call it an escape or so. The initial reason I started that was just to pass time. So I can remember the very first time I did it, my mom came back home, and my mom is this kind of person that anytime we clean their room, like, they are not expressive with gifts or anything, but their expression of thank you, that's my parents now, is seen in the words that they say, seen in the expression and the excitement they feel. So every single time she would come back and I've cleaned the entire house, she'd just be like, "Hell, my daughter, mom," she just use her Igbo and thank me, Ibalibala ho, and all of that. I'll just be feeling myself and I'll feel very excited. Then something happened on one particular day. I had done the cleanup. I was waiting for her to come back and do the usual thank you and all of that. So I'd waited. And then she eventually came back. And I went to welcome her, carried her bag and everything, carried it to her room. Usually her room would be the place she'd go to, and she'd be like, "Hey, you really tried." She entered the room, she didn't say anything, went downstairs, saw that everywhere was clean, and still did not say or give her usual acknowledgement. And in that moment, I felt very sad. It was very sad because she did not acknowledge it as she used to before. I don't know if I'll say it hurt me, but I did not feel very good about it. And I didn't even mention to her, be like, "Oh, mommy, you did not see what I did today," or anything like that. I just let it be. You'd recognize from my story that I started out cleaning, not because I wanted my mom's validation or because I wanted her to be grateful for the cleaning that I was doing. But the main purpose for me cleaning, which was a good act in this case, was to erase my boredom. Now, along the line, my mom's validation became more like the icing on the cake, right? But midway into doing all of that, the purpose shifted. It shifted from being solely to erase that boredom to seeking my mom's gratitude, to seeking my mom's acknowledgement, to seeking my mom's validation. The need for that, her very excited thank you and all of that, became at the center of my doing the chores I was doing at home and cleaning the whole house. So I lost sight of why I even started it in the first place. And because of that, my expectations as well shifted. And when they were not coming forth, I became disappointed. This definitely brings me back to the question that I had asked initially. Why do you do the good things that you do? Do you do those good things because you want to be applauded, because you want people to recognize you for what you do? Do you do them because they are good in God's sight? Or do you do them just because you want to do them? These questions are very important because I think they generally guide your expectations. Don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, it's always very beautiful to have people appreciate the good things that you do. I mean, it's just like adding fuel to the fire. It helps the fire to burn right and keep burning, basically. So the acknowledgement you get from people, the validation, the "yes, you're doing a very nice work. Yes, this thing you did is so good. Wow, you're a nice person." Those things, why they are very encouraging, why they are very awesome, they shouldn't make you lose sight of why you started at the first place. And it's also okay if your primary purpose changes along the line, right? It's also okay, but you must recognize that it has changed at that point so that your expectations will be redirected in that line as well. I don't think there is anything wrong in getting recognition for the good things that you do. The problem is what happens if that good deed goes completely unrecognized. Like, what happens if it remains unseen for an entire lifetime? We used to be able to see its relevance even in the absence of the loud crowd cheering you on, or even in the absence of a single cheerleader. Would you still be able to see the relevance, the importance, or the purpose for which you had started out? Now I'm asking again, why do you do the good things that you do? If at the core of your doing the good deeds is the cheering, is the validation, right? That's your own core. But if the core is centered around impact, it's not bad to want a little bit of, "Hey, you're doing a good work here and there." What if it doesn't come? Would that be a reason to discontinue or forget what the driving force for starting was in the first place? Why do you do the good things that you do? Regardless of the different intents that people can have when taking good actions, when doing good things, right? They're still solving a problem, but in solving that problem, they all have different intentions towards it. And that's why I'm very particular about recognizing your intent So let's say I'm in a classroom filled up with people, my classmates, and the entire class is very dirty, like filled up with dirt everywhere. And at that point, I'm like, okay, this is a perfect moment to show that I am the neatest person in the whole world. And I pick up a broom and begin to sweep the class in that moment. My intent at that point is to seek validation and to have people say, you're doing a very nice work. You're a very nice person. You must really not like being in a dirty place for you to do this. Well done, right? Now, having done that, if at the end of the day nobody thinks like that, if at the end of the day nobody recognizes that I even swept the class, I'd be disappointed, because that was the intent. The intent was for people to praise me. The intent was for me to get applause here and there, and then it's not coming forth. That's basically the foundation of my frustration at that point in time. However, I'm going to paint a different scenario, and in this case, it's a scenario of someone who really doesn't like staying in a dirty place. So the beautiful person or the handsome person walks into the class, and the entire class is a whole mess, and they pick up a broom with the intent of keeping the place clean, not necessarily caring about what people have to say, but they just want to keep the classroom clean. Now, that particular person, if they do the whole cleaning, they're satisfied at the end of the day, even if no one says anything, because the intent was just to keep the class clean. It wasn't to get validation from people. It wasn't to have people say, oh, wow, you're a very nice young man. Certainly not. It was just to keep the class clean. So it's very important to recognize the intent, because right there lies the foundation of your disappointment or the foundation of your fulfillment. I wouldn't say it's bad to seek to be recognized. That's fine if that's what you want. But sometimes most powerful acts in life happen quietly, in the absence of a camera, in the absence of a cheering crowd, in the absence of an audience, but in the presence of just you and a choice to act kindly. What do you do when the intent is good, but when no one ever recognizes? Like, no one even sees it, no one even says, oh my God, you're doing so well. What do you do in those cases? What happens when those things do not come? Number one, for us as Christians, we are reminded beautifully that our Father sees in secret and definitely has a reward for those actions done in secret. This serves as a solace, or more of a consolation, that whatever acts you do in love, whatever acts of kindness you show that no one else sees, it just doesn't go unrewarded. It doesn't go unrecognized. I can remember seeing on one of my friend's status, and he said that he lives for an audience of one. And that made a whole lot of sense to me, because at the end of the day, we live for an audience of one. It's really not about what every other person says. It's about what God says, what God sees as right, what God sees as honorable, not necessarily what the whole world is screaming about, right? The whole world might be saying, you're a good person. But God is saying, oh my God. I say God is saying, oh my God. My bad. So as Christians, that should be our solace, right? That we have someone who sees even when the world doesn't see. God cherishes those actions that are taken when you're not seeking human validation, like you're just doing them, than those ones you do when you just want people to applaud you. One thing I've realized is most times when you help without expecting cheers and all those beautiful appreciation here and there, you reveal the purity of your heart, right? Because you know that nobody's seeing it, so I can decide not to do this thing, but I still choose to do it, even when nobody's seeing it, even when nobody's recognizing that, hey, you're doing something. Number two, outside of faith, psychology and research has shown that when you carry out acts of kindness, some very beautiful hormones are released that also makes you feel good. So the reward in that particular moment comes from your brain. So even if people are not giving you the reward that you require, you're still rewarded inside by the feelings that you get when you do nice things. But if you're focused on the thank you, these hormones will not be released though, because thank you never comes. So how you want to be happy? I mean, not getting a thank you, not getting a recognition, not getting an appreciation for good things that you do can be very frustrating. I won't even lie. Imagine giving somebody 100k and the person does not even say thank you. That's a different scenario altogether. Imagine coming to a community that they don't have water and drill boreholes. How much? At the end of the day, nobody is saying anything. You'll be frustrated. But the truth is, if that thank you, if that appreciation of the good work is not the fuel for the action in the first place, then definitely the act alone is enough. I definitely want to give a very big shout out to all the good things that you have done, which would never make the headlines, right? But they are saving lives, they are impacting lives every single day. That's what matters the most. So it's important to ask yourself from time to time, why do I do the good things that I do? And in asking that question, you might one day recognize that, wow, I might have started out with a passion, with a desire to change people's lives. I might have started out with a passion for people that are hurting, that are really finding it difficult to get by life. I might have started out with a passion for broken people. But right now, at this point in my life, I think my vision has changed from what it used to be to wanting to be appreciated for those actions, for those successes that I've had while doing what I started out initially, right? And if you're able to answer this question, you can somehow trace your step back to the purpose for starting out. And right there, that's where your fulfillment lies. Because the truth is, if you're waiting for validation for every single thing that you do, it might never really be enough. You might not get enough. That's just the truth. Because sometimes people might see good things and not talk about them. Some other times they might see and be very loud about them. I ask again, why do you do the good things that you do? So in summary, what I'm saying is, find out what is at the core of the good actions that you take. If it's the praises, if it's the validation that you are all about, then hold it with your full chest that yes, I am building this school, I am telling this person you can do this only because I want the person to see me as a good person, only because I want the person to basically just feel good about me, right? And if that's at the center, if that's at the core of what you're doing, hold it with your full chest and say, yes, this is why I'm doing it. And then if there's a different reason for your actions, if it's, I just want to, I just have the passion for it, then hold that too as your core. And if at the core is, I feel like this is what God wants me to be doing at this point in my life, I feel like this is what pleases God, hold that too at the core. Because only then will you recognize when that core has changed along the line. And in recognizing that, be able to trace yourself back to your starting point. Thank you so much for staying here with me. I really hope that this video has helped you probably do a little bit of reevaluation here and there, and that the words that you've heard, the things, the lessons that you've picked to would guide your decisions going forward, would guide your choices going forward. I really hope that this video is not up to 20 minutes because my videos nowadays have just been so long, and I'm wondering, make it a habit to ask yourself certain questions, to evaluate certain things that you started out, and make sure that you're still in line with the initial goal, you're still in line with the core. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. So with that, ciao. With that, bye.